During the summer, Florida's climate is tropical. It's very hot, very humid, and very rainy, and it's a paradise for bugs. The bugs are everywhere in huge numbers. Only the most heat-tolerant vegetables will do well during midsummer, so the list of what to plant is getting shorter. Summer crops that can be planted in July include amaranth, calabaza, chaya, chayote, cranberry hibiscus, gingers and turmeric, katuk, long beans, loofah, moringa, okra, passion fruit in Central and South Florida, pineapple in Central and South Florida, roselle, Seminole pumpkin, sweet potatoes in Central and South Florida, and southern peas, which include things like Crowder peas, cream peas, and cow peas, and tropical greens and spinaches. Tropical greens and spinaches that are heat tolerant include amaranth tricolor, also called vegetable amaranth, green callaloo amaranth, Brazilian spinach, also called sisu, Lagos spinach, longevity spinach, Malabar spinach, Malokia, also called Egyptian spinach, New Zealand spinach, and Okinawa spinach. Even though pumpkins are not really a summer crop, most large pumpkins take between 90 to 120 days to mature from seed. So we need to start pumpkin seeds in July if we want them to be ready for harvest in October. These are the names of some pumpkin varieties that are recommended for Florida: Howden, Jackpot, Big Max, Big Moon, Jack-o'-lantern, Funny Face, Spirit, and Connecticut Field. Herbs that can be grown in the summer include basil, chives, dill, marjoram, mint, and oregano. Some sources recommend that gardeners in North Florida start their seeds for eggplants, peppers, and tomatoes in July so that they will be ready to transplant in August. These particular crops take several months to mature from seed, and since North Florida can get frosts as early as November, it may be necessary for the northernmost parts of Florida to get these crops started early. Even in Central Florida, some people like to start these crops from seed in July, but the past few years have been so hot in the fall that the crops may not do well if they're started this early. If you live in a North Florida region that typically gets frosts in November, then you may want to go ahead and start some seeds in July. However, if you live in Central or South Florida and recall it being unusually hot during the fall in the past couple of years, then it would probably be best to wait until August at the earliest before starting anything for the fall. I personally am planning to wait until at least August to start my peppers and tomatoes. A lot of people like to wait even longer so that they can transplant when the weather really cools down in late October. I'll put a link in the description to an interactive map where you can find your town's first average frost date. That can help you decide how early to start your warm season vegetables for the fall. July is when I try to take a summer break from gardening. It's too hot and buggy to be working in the garden, so I do my best to get all of my summer crops planted in May and June. All I have left to plant in July is pumpkins. My tips for gardening in July are very similar to my tips from June. If you still have peppers or tomatoes growing in your garden in July, then it would be a good idea to give them some partial shade, especially during the middle of the day when it's the hottest and brightest. The summer sun is so intense that it can scald and burn the skin of peppers and tomatoes that are exposed to the full sun. I usually put up 30 or 40% shade cloth or move my pepper plants under a tree that only allows dappled light to come through during the afternoons. As I've already mentioned several times, the bugs are absolutely out of control in the summertime. I usually just give up and let the bugs win during the summer, but in some cases it's still necessary to intervene so that the bugs don't totally destroy my crops. If you have severe bug infestations of important crops, then there are some organic options you can use to control the insect pests. Soapy water can be used to kill many insect pests, and you can find many effective recipes online. The mix I usually use is 1 teaspoon of castile soap with 1 teaspoon of neem oil mixed with 1 quart of water. There are also some pre-mixed options available commercially. One brand I have used in the past is called Safer Brand Insecticidal Soap. For caterpillars and worms, the organic products BT or spinosad can be used. I'll put links to the organic pest control products I use in the description below the video. Although it may be necessary to use some pesticides at times, I always like to remind people to use them sparingly and not to spray the whole garden with pesticides, because they will kill beneficial insects and pollinators too, and we definitely don't want to kill our good bugs. And one last tip I have is to try to stay on top of the weeds. With all the rain we get in the summer, the weeds can get out of control fast. So I suggest getting up early in the morning or working late in the evening when it's not as hot to pull weeds little by little so they don't get out of control. And I need to listen to my own advice because I'm really bad about letting the weeds get out of control during the summer. And then when it's time to prep the beds in the fall, I have a huge mess of weeds that is overwhelming to get rid of. So I am going to try really hard to do better this summer to keep up with the weeding. And I hope you're able to do the same so you don't have a mess in the fall. Well, that's it for July. I hope you all have a great summer.